If you've ever sat at the piano thinking about everything, the notes, the fingers, the rhythm, the mistakes you might make, and somehow the music disappears, then this video is for you. Because sometimes the problem isn't that you don't know enough, it's that you're thinking too much. If you ever saw that movie, it's been several years since it was out, quite a few years actually. There was a movie called Mr. Holland's Opus, and there's a moment in this movie where a young student is struggling to play musically. She's the little red-haired girl with the clarinet, and she has practiced, I think, until her fingers are ready to fall off, and she's just not getting it. Basically, she's doing everything right, but nothing sounds alive. And finally, Mr. Holland just tells her, stop thinking and play the sunset. Not the notes, not the fingerings, the sunset. That moment resonates with so many piano students, especially adults, because it points to something we rarely talk about: overthinking. Now, overthinking absolutely comes from a good place. It means you care, it means you're trying to do things correctly, it means you're paying attention. But when the mind stays in control mode, the music has no room to breathe. Overthinking sounds like, don't miss that note. What finger comes next? Was that wrong? What's the rhythm again? And when all of this is running, there's really no space left for the sound. And here's an important distinction. Thinking does happen before and around playing. It is necessary. Listening is what happens during playing, especially after you have learned all these things. But a lot of times it's learning to trust that you have learned these. When students overthink, they're monitoring instead of experiencing. But music doesn't come from monitoring. It comes from responding to the sound. You can't play the sunset if you're busy naming the colors. So, what letting go actually means. Letting go does not mean being careless, ignoring technique, or playing randomly. What it means is actually trusting that the preparation has already happened. You've learned the notes, you've practiced the passage, you've done the work. Now the job is to allow the sound to happen. Let me pause here for a moment. If overthinking is something you struggle with at the piano, this balance between preparation and letting go is something that starts with how you learn the piano. In my free course, I take you step by step through the process of learning to read the notes, count the rhythms, and just getting the basics down. This is the foundation that is needed to allow you not to have to overthink. So, if this sounds like something that would be helpful to you, check out my link below. All right, let's get back to this idea a little bit more. Here's a simple way to approach this in practice. Before you play, ask yourself, what's the mood here? What is the music trying to say? What color does this sound have? And then play for that, not correctness. If a few mistakes happen, let them happen. You can go back and correct them afterwards. You're not going to embed them by running through one time and just seeing how things happen. In fact, this is much what I talk about in my Oreo video, which might be another one for you to check out if you're overthinking a little bit. So what you're doing is you are testing, you're playing, you're just experiencing the sound. If you hear something you don't like, then you can always think about that later and go back and correct it. If a note isn't perfect but the sound is alive, then you're on the right track. Expression isn't added after accuracy, it's invited during the playing. Why is this so hard for adults? Adults are especially prone to overthinking because, for one thing, you're self-aware, you're evaluating constantly, and you want to understand everything. And these are usually strengths until they start to crowd out instinct. Children often play first and analyze later. Adults often analyze first and then totally forget to play. Neither is wrong, but music needs both, and it's figuring out when to do what. At some point, every pianist has to stop managing the notes and just start trusting the sound. You don't always need to fix the music. Sometimes you just need to let it speak. So the next time you sit at the piano and feel stuck in your head, pause and play the sunset.